So this is called Flowers and Feathers, and it's from Blodeuwedd's point of view. Bit of a trademark, I know, but yeah, this is called Flowers and Feathers. My earliest memories are of dreamy days, lazy days in the wild countryside of Cymru, nourished and refreshed by spring showers, rooted deeply in the rich, sweet-smelling earth, warmed by the rays of the sun, bobbing without a care in spring breezes as they passed through our floral realm. It started as a mere vibration, a low hum, along with the gentle fizzing of magic. Well, we had seen these mortals and their wizards do this before, creating their simples or herbal tinctures to heal the sick. But then came the crackling storm of a deep, older, powerful magic. Brandishing their staffs, Gwydion and Math strode into view, calling down a fierce and powerful magic upon the land, the like of which we'd never seen before, commanding the very blossoms from the trees, wrenching each petal from its green haven. They stole 9 blossoms from for their needs. They stole all of us from our hillside homes. Meadow sweet, her fragrant frothing flowers of creamy beauty, so beloved by the bridal parties we had watched process through the lanes in the valley below. Earthy broom, resplendent in her golden yellow and oranges, or purple like plump wild plums. For her secret knowledge on matters of the heart. Even mighty oak had no safety in height or druid sacredness. Her hanging delicate fronds were plundered, and the white and pink confetti bloom of the hawthorn, fairy flower full of magic and enchantment, ripped from their spiky home. They would rue the day they took her indoors. Delicate cocklebean, rare and long forgotten, shy lilac bud, full of deep ancient magic of reincarnation. Nettle too, her bubbling sharp sting, no protection, her white shades plucked for transformation and growth. Sweet, sweet chestnut, her showy, creamy candles stripped for their abundance and fertility. Great burdock, her purple beauty hidden, but full of sweet, intoxicating nectar. And lastly, dear perennial primrose, with her simple, happy yellow petals, warm and welcoming and familiar. We were all taken from our green home, taken to their castle, built of clay and stone and brick. Whispered words and commands had us splitting and breaking, rending and ripping, flying and falling, stretching and blending, until we no longer knew what we were, until we became me. Blodeuwedd, flower face, that's what they called me. That is the name for she who is sweet, beautiful, intoxicating and magical, more so than any living mortal before or since. And then they gave me their new and magical creation of skin and bone and emotion, made from the finest and most sacred and magical flowers of the land. They gave me, like a possession, to Gwydion's son Llw. We who were once free, given like a chattel to a stranger. Well, Llw was fair and pleasant. He was not unkind nor disagreeable, my husband, and I was his wife. And he lay with me to make that so, delighted in me. But he was just there, my husband. In my ivory tower I lived. An ivory tower is a gilded cage, and a gilded cage is a dank and rotten dungeon to be imprisoned in by any other name. So I watched from my ivory tower. I watched this new world. I watched as Hlu rode away to visit his kinfolk on business, whilst my half-remembered kin lay depleted on a faraway hillside. Well, the huntsman's horn was a welcome distraction. Naturally, as a good wife and hostess, I went to offer ale, roasted meat and hospitality to this party of strangers, as gracious and accommodating as I could be. And then I saw him. The dark and handsome hunter, the Lord Gronw. It was as though the sun had burst through the clouds and shone over us, and us alone. My blood pulsed and quickened for the very first time in this new form, like sap rising in the spring. For the first time I felt desire course through my veins, and I saw it reflected in his eyes too. Well, far from home, the hunt party needed to rest. I asked him to stay. I asked them to stay. And stay he did. And lay with me he did. For 3 nights and days of mortal magic. But away he had to go as Hlu would return. Hlu, my unchosen husband. And Gronw, my chosen lover. There was no way out. Hlu would not let me go. Gwydion would not allow it. And I could not escape. They would find me and bring me back to my ivory tower of a prison. There was only one answer. We would kill Hlu. When he returned, like a dutiful wife, I feigned fear, expressed concern that my husband would be killed whilst out travelling with his kinsfolk. Hlu laughed and told me that a deep magic protected him. I should have known, for he could not be killed on foot nor on horseback. He could not be killed inside nor out, but he was smug with it. He told me what could slay him. He told me how he could be slain. And he told me where he could be slain. He told me, and I told Gronw. For a year my lover waited. For a year my lover readied his spear. Whilst the pious were at mass in their newfangled churches, until the day came to set me free. A year and a day we waited. So smug was my husband about his immortality that he laughed and agreed to show me how the great Llywelyn could be slain. So we built a structure by the river, inside yet outside, and we filled a great bath, and next to it we tethered a young billy goat. And then the great Llywelyn stood 1 foot on the billy goat and 1 foot on the bath, under the wooden canopy, not inside, not outside, nor on foot, nor on horseback. And Gronw aimed that spear that he had fashioned throughout a full year to free me, his love, and he threw it with such deadly accuracy that we thought Hlu slain and me free. Gronw returned to my castle, for now I had my own sovereignty, and we were happy at last, so happy. Cruel, you say? That's as may be, but tell me, is it crueler than creating me and keeping me prisoner in my ivory tower? No crueler than giving me to a mortal I did not choose or that I could not love. No, no crueler. What I did not know, what I could not know, was that Llw was not slain. That deep, deep magic had turned him into an eagle. A rotting, barely alive eagle, but an eagle nonetheless. And Gwydion, his father, the great and powerful wizard, tracked him down to an old oak tree and rescued him, along with Math the magician, and for a year and a day they nursed him back to health. And then they came for us. And Llw, as strong as before, protected by even more magic, slew my lover Gronw with his own spear, made so sharp and powerful that it pierced the stone that shielded him. Tell me that was not deep, dark magic. Into the night I fled with my ladies, up a steep and winding mountain path. Oh, my ladies, they fell to their deaths, and in the darkness I reached the top alone and found myself trapped as Gwydion pursued me to the last. My lover dead, I waited to join him, to lie in the sweet earth again. But Gwydion knew this, and instead of death and oblivion, he spat forth a fearful spell. Blodeuwedd, I curse you! You of flowers and beauty shall be no more. Never again will your face be seen by man. Never again will you see the daylight. You shall haunt the night and hunt in solitude in the darkest hours. Alone and hated, a hunter, shunned by the birds. I turned from his magic, but so it was. My arms became feathered wings. My gentle fingers twisted into cruel talons. My delicate nose a sharp beak, and the cry that rose in my throat became an eldritch screech. And I swooped down the mountainside, a flower-faced hunter, doomed to solitude and the darkness, never to see the sunlight, never to return to the sweet grass of my hillside, never to see my flowerkin as they slept beneath the moon, always to be cruel and hated and alone, always to be feathers, never ever again to be flowers.